Hi, this is Justin again with the countdown 30 for 30 on the significance and meaning of the resurrection. And it's cold in Oklahoma. Why is it so cold? I don't know. God has a plan for it though. All right, so check it out. Back when I was a campus minister at the University of Tennessee, Martin, that's in West Tennessee, about 10 minutes maybe from the border of Kentucky. And one thing we like to do annually was go and drive up to Sikeston, Missouri. Have you ever heard of Sikeston, Missouri? I hadn't either, but they have a restaurant there called Lambert's, and it's good, country cooking, and they're known for throwed rolls. So whenever you need a roll, they will chunk it across the restaurant, the dining room area, and you have to catch it. It's so much fun, and they also are known for their just unending sides. You buy your entree, and then they'll bring the sides around. It's just a really interesting restaurant, and it's worth attending sometime to get there and have some good country cooking there. Probably not in the era of coronavirus though, unfortunately. A little unsafe there with all the germ swapping going on in that place. But man, well, so much fun. Now, when you're getting there from Martin, Tennessee, there's really no interstate that goes by Martin, Tennessee. It's really out in the boonies. And Sikeston, Missouri is not really a hot spot either for travel. So you got to get creative on how to get there. Now, there's two real ways to go. One is you can take U.S. highways and then get on an interstate and eventually get there, or you can take the shortcut. Now, the shortcut involves this ferry. It's a ferry that goes across the river there, the Mississippi River, between Kentucky and Missouri, and it's very spotty on if you're actually going to be able to get across this river. So you could be waiting for quite some time. Now, I think before the days of the internet, I guess you have to call ahead, but now you can kind of get on there, and sometimes they'll post when they're going to be closed or whatever, so you cannot be sitting there waiting for the ferry. But yeah, the ferry you drive onto the ferry and it'll take you across the river, and it shaves a ton of time off your trip, but it is a gamble. It's a little bit risky to go across and plan on it, because you're kind of burning your boats, you're burning your bridges, because you have to rely upon the reliability of this ferry. Well, that brings me to my point today, is that the resurrection of Christ brings us to an inconvenient truth. It's that the world needs reconciliation with God. Listen to this. This is Paul writing in 2 Corinthians 5 this time, and it says, "From now on, we regard no one according to the flesh, even though we once regarded Christ according to the flesh. We regard him thus no longer." So there's a fundamental change of how you regard everyone because of what's happened in the resurrection. Listen to this. "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he's a new creation. The old has passed away, and behold, the new has come." Whenever you see that behold word, it means, hey, pay attention, the new has come. There's a fundamental break about who you are internally and what you were before. You're a new creature. Everything about you is different if you're in Christ, whatever that means. Do you know what that means? If you don't, ask me and I'll tell you. Listen to this. It says, all this is from God. How do you get to be a new creation? It's from God, who through Christ reconciled us to himself and gave us the ministry of reconciliation. For who? That is, in Christ, God was reconciling the world to himself, not counting their trespasses against them, and entrusting to us the message of reconciliation. So reconciliation, let's break it down for you. Reconciliation, of course, means what you think it means. Reconciliation means that there is a break in a relationship and it is damaged, and it must be repaired in order for the two parties to come together and be reconciled. A lot of times you'll hear people divorce because of irreconcilable differences. These differences can't be reconciled. The gap is too great to be bridged. And so that is exactly what the world has in its relationship with God, its maker, is that the world and God have these irreconcilable differences. And the only way they can come back together is through the ferry, Jesus, that brings you from one side of the gulf to the other side, to where the Lord is. We are not there. We have to think, well, who wouldn't love us? Well, the world, by nature, by its sin nature, is at odds with God. And this reconciliation, because of our faith in Christ, we can go with Christ to his death. It's he died, so we all died with him. And now we're raised with him as well, back into fellowship with God. And this is the message of reconciliation. Notice it's a message of reconciliation. It is not creating you to be righteous in and of yourself to where you are able to do this for yourself. It's a message you receive. It's good news, right? Now you are a new creature, and the new creature part of you, that's the good news, is that you have ears to hear this. But the new creature thing is not that, oh, you're extra super holy now, so you're worthy. No, you are at odds with him based upon your own works, but God brings you back through this message of reconciliation, and you're believing it because he's made you a new creation. So faith, you see, and reconciliation comes through hearing. Now I've got a challenge for you today. Usually I'm just talking meaning, but I've got a challenge. You have a message of reconciliation to share. If you believe this, you have a ministry of reconciliation. Paul goes on and continues to say, we are ambassadors for Christ, God making his appeal through us. Therefore, you be reconciled to God and join him in this message. And here's the message. God made Christ to be sin. This man who knew no sin, he became sin so that in him we might become the righteousness of God. It's all in Christ. You don't have to clean yourself up to be reconciled to him. It is what Christ has done. Now, what kind of message is that? It's the best news you could ever hear. Now, my challenge to you is this. Take that message with you each and every day and find ways to share it. I'll give you one. We're going to be live streaming worship tomorrow morning from 10:30 to 11:30, 11:40ish, and invite someone. It's a very it takes very little trust and confidence and relationship capital to say, hey, my church is doing an online service. I want you to watch it. That'd help us out if you'd watch it. Please just watch it. And then if they do watch it, that's great. If they don't watch it, just be like, hey, did you miss it? Oh, well, we have it streamed. We have it recorded actually. And you can go, here's the link. Go watch it. Tell me what you think. And then follow back up with them. And if you go to my church and the Lord's at work in you, then you are equipped to have a ministry of reconciliation. You have the message of reconciliation, and the ministry is simply sharing it and talking about it. What did you think about that? And then hanging up and listening. Let them talk, and then ask them questions. There's nothing more important to talk about, especially in these times. You've got ample time to do this. Nobody has anything to do. We are at home. We're trying to act like we're busy, but we're not. We're spending way too much time on Netflix. We're spending way too much time on leisure, and we're bored. Do something that matters today. Be a minister of reconciliation. And that is the meaning and significance of the resurrection of Jesus, day 18. You play a part. It says in verse 19, God was reconciling the world to himself. To himself. God is making his appeal in verse 20 through us. 2 Corinthians 5, go look it up. You are in that us, through the church, through the people. God is making his appeal. All right. April 12th, Easter's coming up. Get ready to celebrate the greatest event in the history of mankind, which actually points toward the end. The end has come. We're living in the last days, and so this message of reconciliation will not be there forever. It is time to count who Christ is, to discern who Christ is, and turn to him in faith and believe in him and follow him on this mission. All right, guys, God bless you. Take care, be good, be safe, and I will see you the next time.